Right, another day in paradise. We've had 5 new additions to the collection. We bought this at auction at Ledbury on Saturday. Little Brooklands Francis-Barnett 196cc sports engine. Quite interesting. Francis-Barnett did quite well, Meaden and so forth at Brooklands, obviously in the small classes. So lovely little bike, and of course close to Miller. His first bike was a 1929 Francis-Barnett, same year as this, Posi Lube, and we've got a replica or a similar model in the museum. So there you go, Francis-Barnett, Brooklands racer, round the bank circuit, serious bit of gear. We move on to the next one, which is Jim's new project.
Okay, this is a bike out of the museum. It's been here for a year or two. It was a donation. It's a 1952 Ariel Square 4 Mark 1. It's an older restoration, so it's a bit scruffy and a bit neglected. So we've opted to strip it down and do a cosmetic restoration on it. And stripping it down now and inspecting all the parts. Any minor repairs to be done before stuff goes for painting. Mechanically, it's very good. The engine had been rebuilt previously, and Sammy and I have both ridden it when the bike arrived here. So mechanically, it's sound.
Quite unique. It's got aluminium barrel heads on it, which is quite spectacular, really. And they were being produced at Ariel's before I arrived. I arrived at Ariel's in '58. By that time, they'd gone to the more modern twin port job. So
this is an interim. It's part of the development. Yeah. 1949, the Mark 1s with the all alloy top end, up until 1953, when the Mark 2 came out with the 4 pipes.
Right, this is another acquisition we got at Pew's auction, Ledbury, Calthorpe. Of course, they made the ivory Calthorpe. We've got some in the museum, but I took a shine to this. Lovely bit of gear, Calthorpe Speedway bike, 1929. So, as you see, very big wheels in it, lovely strutted frame, nice air box in it. This side, oil tank the other side, and Calthorpe engine. This is actually a 350, twin valve. So rigid forks, no suspension front or rear, which Speedway men in those days, if you come around this side, it didn't seem to bother them too much. So you got your foot on there, that under here, so you can force the thing about on when you're broadsiding round corners. So there you go. Lovely little bike, oil tank, fuel tank, obviously running on methanol. Right, the Norton collection. We're very pleased. We also bought this at the auction. Norton Speedway bike, 1930. Great bit of tire, ES2 engine, as you can see, twin port, 500cc as usual, so you can get your knee jammed under there when you're broadside round corners, flat out, hanging on the side of it, when in doubt, flat out. So there we go. Great bike, good position actually. So you could, that's almost made for Miller, that specification there. That's jammed in there like that. They only made it for 1 year. They weren't very successful. They were far too heavy compared to the Rudges and the Douglases and the Calthorpes. They were never really a success, so they only made 40 of them and dropped them the following year. But a real Norton epic, so it joins all our Nortons. And this is the great man himself, James Lansdowne Norton. He passed away age 56, so what he did in a short life is unbelievable. That possibly is his bike. That came from Bracebridge Street, Norton's, when they closed down. Birmingham registration. We would love to find a photograph of James riding that bike, but to date, maybe somebody can help us. To date, we have never found a photograph of that registration with James on that bike, but it was in the office at Bracebridge Street, so obviously there was a severe connection. The great Artie Bell, my hero, Ulster Grand Prix, 1952, winning again, so there we go. We'll now move back to the workshop. What's all this lot here then? So someone donated this yesterday. Father's collection in his workshop, having a clear out. So quite an interesting load of stuff here. That's some very early tools. Little valve lifter job, mag spanners, all neat and tidy. They'll be useful. That's a bit of rubbish there. Very electronic ignition system. A speedo kit which come in handy with the drive. That mag, Jim tells me it's off a stationary engine. Old grease guns, one or two. That's a connection there where you get a swivel joint on it, grease gun. So they'll clean up and go on display quite nicely. Amel carburetor, that's quite interesting too, you see, because it's for a horizontal one, which are quite rare. Generally the carburetor sits like that, but that one sits like that to give you more room at the top, because the cables can come out that way, they don't have to come over the top. So 90 degrees float bowl on it, that's good. That's another one there, which is quite a mystery. Why would you have that threaded like that with a red glass in it like that? So query job, that's little valve cores, Schreiber glass cores. There you go, all neat and tidy. Look, all brand new. That's probably 70 years old, that lot. This oil can's quite a good one, you see, Pratt's. If you get the name on them, it trebles the value of them. That's Pratt's, that's a good one. So we'll clean all that up, paint it, put it on display in the museum. See the workmanship in that? Probably 1920, I would think, somewhere about there. What's all this lot here then? Well, Miller's reliving his youth a bit, because the SH inside my first trials bike that I built when I was a kid, and father bought me an 8E motor unit and gearbox for my birthday. I think it was my 16th birthday or something, so I made my first bike, the SHS. So this is the same motor, so I'm rebuilding. As you see, it must have been sitting in water, so just had a new brake plate organised, some spares. That's the old cover, that's beat to death. Luckily we have a new one in stock. That's the crank of it there, all in quite good shape. This is the gearbox of it here. As you see, 3-speed gearbox, little Villiers carburetor. Just had some zinc stuff back. Matthews brought me the zinc stuff this morning on his way here. So there you go, we've had the float bowl, that'll clean up. That's the zinc float bowl, I'll tidy it up. Here's the engine. Jim's just aqua blasted it all off. You put the gearbox together there, and that goes on there like that, and that's your gearbox. So, and then your Villiers cover it. That's the early one. The later one's got a sort of a flare lined over the top, but I like that one because that's the same as the SHS. So that's your two covers there like that. So that'll all come together nicely. Jim's done a good job on the barrel. That's aqua blasted off. The barrel, all perfect fins, no broken flins. We'll give it a bit of a hone out, and hey, gusto. So bit of work to go. So there we go. Now we're going to fire up the 7R. 1954. What's the significance of 1954? Well, in 1954, Miller, 70 years ago, won the Cookstown 100 on 7R AJ. Same model as this.